Greetings. Welcome to Meru University of Science and Technology. Today, we are having a session on women empowerment. Joining us today is a special guest. Stay tuned.
Hello people, welcome to a continuation of yesterday's empowerment for women, and today I'm joined by a smart lady as a guest, so I'd like her to introduce herself.
My name is Sharon Koskei. I am an advocate and I serve Meru University as the legal officer, and I am part of the leadership of the institution.
What inspired you to be a leader?
Growing up, and when quite early on in my career, I got a chance to work with a few organizations, and in those organizations there were women who were leaders. And I remember particularly in Safaricom, my boss was called Claire Ruto, and I strongly admired her and how she carried herself and how she did her work. And in that young age, I just knew that this is the type of a person that I want to be in future, just looking at her and how she did her stuff. So yeah, I also knew that there are talents that are specifically, and traits that are specifically associated with women that I could tap into, that would actually make me have an impact in whatever role I'm given. So yeah, that's how I decided I wanted to be a leader.
Okay, that's a good one. And would you say that it's important for women to be leaders?
Yes, it is. I think generally, and particularly, say in STEM programs, there is under-representation of women, and it is important that we have them so that young girls coming up can see that it is possible. Women, I believe, also have input. They have ideas that they can bring that may not necessarily occur to men. If it's a predominantly male situation, then they invent and make innovations that cater to maybe specifically a certain need or men-oriented needs. But having women gives a well-rounded sort of platform where women can also, cater to all the society's needs.
Would you tell us who inspires you?
I'm generally inspired by people who have overcome a lot of adversity or obstacles and still manage to excel. Now, in my professional life, as I earlier said, I was in my younger, when I just started my career journey, I was inspired by Claire Ruto, who was then my boss, and she was also in the legal field. But on a personal level also, I draw a lot of inspiration from my mother. She's such a hard worker. She handles things with a lot of enthusiasm without ever complaining. And just watching her growing up, being who she was, I hope I can, also model the same even in my workplace and everything else that I do.
Yeah, so we know that it's never a smooth rail. We
Yes.
have challenges. So what are those challenges that you've faced as a leader, and how have you handled them?
Yeah. Specifically as a woman leader, there's still a lot of gender bias and stereotyping generally in workplaces that women face. You'll find that some things, for example, if a male colleague is assertive, it is interpreted as they're commanding and they just direct. But if a woman displays the same, say, assertiveness, it is interpreted to mean aggressive or pushy. So such biases are still there here and there. Number two, obviously, there's still a lot of work-life balance. Women in leadership also struggle to maintain a balance in terms of, you work full-time, at the same time you have other responsibilities, and especially in our African context, we understand that women take up the lion's share of managing households. Number three, in Kenya, and generally, I find that there's very little developed women networks that that you can just draw insights and support and guidance through your journey as a leader, so to speak. Yes.
Okay. And what is your passion besides work?
Well, I enjoy reading. I read a lot. I like traveling and seeing new places. I like cooking and trying out new recipes. Yeah, and outdoor activities. Any outdoor activities, mostly you'll find me hiking or gymming or walking, yes, or taking a drive.
So, Counsel Sharon, can women have it all?
Yes, I really believe it. I think you can have a successful career and also still maintain your other responsibilities, particularly in the family setup. It is doable. We have seen a lot of women who have done it, and I think it is important for young women to know that they can do it. It just requires, I think, a lot of just learning to prioritize things, and just knowing that just because you can never really have it perfect all the time, like everything is perfectly handled at work, perfectly handled at home, and it's okay. Maybe sometimes if one sector is doing better than the other, the point is to learn how to prioritize. And I think if you have a good support system in terms of your family and even your friends, you can do it.
I'd also say allow yourself to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So together with that, would you share with us your journey as an advocate? How was it for you?
It's been an interesting journey. It definitely has had its share of challenges, but I have to say it has also been one of the most rewarding things that I have ever ventured into. I began my career shortly after my training, the required training to be an advocate. Then I started working in law firms in Nairobi, but then my interest was in corporate law and governance. And then I got an opportunity in Meru County government, where I worked as the legal officer before transitioning to Meru University. In all these roles, I have focused in governance and public law. So yeah, it has been quite a journey. I have learned a lot. I've had a lot of people to look up to in terms of people who have succeeded, other lawyers in the field, and just other leaders in the various setups that I was in. Yes.
So how do you feel our education system can empower young girls in getting their own space in the world?
I think girl education goes beyond just getting the girls into an institution or just getting them into schools. You have to provide a safe environment for these girls to learn. You've got to understand the reasons why maybe, or what hinders their growth, and the challenges they have that maybe hinders their education, and then find ways to counter measures. So it is important to have say mentorship programs for the girls, to have female leadership programs where you demonstrate and show, even leadership courses that you can do specifically customized for the girls. I think so. And also give them a platform where they can effectively communicate their challenges so that it is understood how they can be helped.
Thank you. So, Counsel, how do you define success?
To me, success means living a life that has purpose, that is purpose-driven. You see, I would like a life that has an impact and makes a difference to people who are around me. So later on in my life, I would like to look back and see that it made a difference that I lived. Yeah, that I just didn't exist and then I just left. Yeah, I'd like to see that my life made a difference to people.
That's a nice answer. So, what are some of the values you feel a young girl should attain in order to get success?
Yes, I think this cuts across the board for anyone really. If you want to succeed at anything, you must have clarity in terms of your goals. What is it that you want? You must be willing to put in the hard work and be consistent, because I think consistency is the key. If you do this today and then you stop, you have to be consistent. You also have to be willing to take risks and be willing to learn. Yeah, I think those are the qualities that would make you succeed.
And now that you're in the law field, so what is that one law that you'd make for the world to abide in? That specific law that you make.
Okay. I think now that we are in the education sector, I think I would require that all education in the world is of the same standard. So it matters not if I study in Kenya, if I study in Uganda, or I study in UK, the content, everything is the same.
So Sharon, if you were to do something different about your journey, what would that be?
I think I would, earlier on, when I'm even deciding an area of specialization, or just at the beginning of my journey, knowing what I would have liked to do, I would have found a mentor in that who had excelled in my area of interest, and then sort of try and learn from them to avoid a lot of some of the mistakes that I obviously made because of ignorance or not having guidance of any. You just, and it's like jumping into the pool, learning from the deep end. Yeah.
So talking of mentorship, why is it important? Why is mentorship important, and how can one find a mentor?
Okay. Mentorship is important because it's a form of guidance and sort of advice to someone from someone who has the experience. So if you are starting out, let's say in an area of interest, and you know someone who has made it or and succeeded in that area, then it's easier because they can pinpoint for you or give you some sort of a roadmap. Avoid this or do this more, and so they give you knowledge and insights that you wouldn't otherwise have. Luckily for us in this era, we have access to information. At the click of a button, you can access the internet. So there are online mentorship programs. You can research and see people in your industry or whatever it is that you're interested in, and see what they have to say. In a university context like ours, I'm sure we have mentorship programs that are running. Take advantage of professional networks. When you meet them, like for example, in my case, we have this Law Society of Kenya. Sometimes we have events. So when we go there, we meet our seniors. Even me, I have seniors. And yeah, you pick them from there. Or even like now for people in STEM, industry-specific workshops or seminars, conferences, that's your opportunity to find mentors.
So what does it mean to be an African woman in leadership?
For me, it means a chance to be able to solve unique African problems. Being African means our problems are very unique. They're not like developed countries. So it means a chance to participate in solving some of those very unique challenges that we have. But at the same time also, we get to inspire young girls coming up that they can do this, because in Africa, there's a very wide gender gap when it comes to women in leadership. So if you get an opportunity to do that, as I have, then you take it and be a good role model for upcoming ones. The first thing they need to do is set the goals that they want to achieve and be clear about them in their minds. That is how from there now you formulate a plan. You know, like if it's just about the studies itself, the training, of course you need to focus, you need to put in the work. Once you've completed your training, you need to build your professional network, you know, get mentors that will help you achieve what you desire. Yeah, so here it is just about hard work and consistency. I would go back, I would tell her to be more confident in herself. I would encourage her to be bold about, you know, sharing her ideas, not to be afraid of making mistakes, and so be willing to take risks. You know, don't be timid and think that my ideas, I mean, who's going to listen to them? Perhaps because I'm a woman I can't pursue this, or I'm a girl I can't pursue this and the other. I can do anything. I would tell her that you can be anything you want, so just be confident and go for it. I would tell her it would surprise her the things she can achieve when she just sets her mind and focuses. That you can do anything and be anything that you want. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure can come. Remember that just look at them as a learning curve. You know, learn. Everyone makes mistakes, and when you do, just take it as a stepping stone and move forward. Don't give up. And for young girls specifically, I'd tell you that you can do anything that a man can do, and maybe even better. My parting shot goes to the women in STEM programs. I would like to tell them that we're very proud of them and what they are doing. And for those watching and would like to join, that the world is waiting for you guys, waiting for your ideas. And just encourage you that you can do it. And God bless you.
Thank you for watching today's episode. It has been a lovely session on women empowerment. Stay tuned on the next one.